What it is, YouTube? It's your boy Troy, and I know hoops, bro. And we are back at it again with another video. This time, we're gonna be talking about the Western Conference playoff series and what to expect, and my predictions for the Western Conference side of things for the playoffs, man. The final game of the play-in for the West just happened today. And it's looking like the Suns are going to be playing the OKC Thunder in round one. Not really surprised by this matchup. I knew coming in the Suns were going to beat the Warriors and all that, but it's kind of crazy because I was actually wrong about my prediction for the Eastern Conference play-in. I thought Hornets were going to go into Orlando and kind of like spank the Magic, especially considering how the Magic played a game ago versus the Sixers, and they got cooked pretty bad. They got cooked pretty bad, and it's crazy. So, but I got this prediction right. I did have the Suns beating the Warriors and stuff, and had them going against the Thunder. I just wasn't going to be surprised if Steph Curry had a crazy game or if Draymond locked Devin Booker up or something like that. I just wasn't going to be surprised because it happened to my team. So, it is what it is. But so we're gonna get right into it, man. First, we're gonna talk about obviously the OKC Thunder and the Suns. So the Suns kind of had a tricky year. I'm not gonna lie. They moved on from KD in the offseason, getting Dillon Brooks, Jalen Green. Jalen Green was hurt for a good amount of the season. Dillon Brooks had a really, really, really good season. I was very impressed with Dillon Brooks and how the Suns were kind of able to keep their heads above water the whole season, staying in that contention, the playoff race, and stuff like that. What kind of surprised me the most is the supporting cast for the Suns. You know, Colin Gillespie, Ryan Dunn was showing up. Mark Williams, who they also acquired in the offseason, was playing really solid minutes. Malawatch from Duke, who they drafted, they ended up getting another center within the draft. They kind of just built their team around Devin Booker. Obviously still had Grayson Allen and all that. So they kind of kept their heads above water. And then with the trades, getting Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green, you kind of wondered, okay, like, what are we doing here? Like, and in the beginning of the season, I didn't really think they were going to compete like that. I thought their roster was kind of trash. But, they were able to do it, man. They were able to make the playoffs, and now they're going up against OKC Thunder, which is disappointing and unfortunate because they're going to lose in about 5 games. They could probably win a playoff game at home. That's about it. OKC, man. Like, Jalen Green didn't play I said Jalen Green. Holy smokes. Jalen Williams actually didn't play a good amount of the year, but OKC just kept having players contributing. AJ Mitchell, the other Jalen Williams, Chet was having a good year. And some people, like, from the box score, you're thinking like, oh yeah, Shea was just carrying the whole season. Nah, bro. Then they ended up getting Jared McCain in the trade with the Sixers, which still don't really know why that even happened in the first place. But the Thunder remain the 1 seed, and Shea is looking like he's going to go on a fucking back-to-back MVP run, bro. 4 straight seasons of averaging 30 points. He definitely deserves it, especially considering how the roster was looking for a couple games without J-Dub and all them losses to the Spurs. A couple people were kind of questioning how OKC was really going to manage, and they managed pretty well. So definitely shout out to OKC, man. Shout out to Shea, former Clipper. And it's also unfortunate because they also have a lottery pick because my team didn't make the playoffs. So, yeah. Sam Presti, you are a genius. You're a genius. But other than that, man, OKC had a great year. Like I said, I really see them mollywopping the Suns. I'm not going to lie. It might go to 5. If it's a sweep, I'm not going to be surprised. I'd really be surprised if they get past 5 games or even 6 games, honestly. But OKC should mollywop the Suns moving on to the next round. So there's that. So the next playoff series we're going to talk about is Lakers versus Rockets. Now, the Rockets, I'm not going to lie, the Rockets are the fakest team in this conference. I ain't going to hold you. Very, very, very ugly games I've seen the Rockets play. The offense is ugly. It kind of seems like the past couple teams KD has been on, it's always, KD, get us out the slump. And the other players will try to contribute, but we really relying on you to get us out this slump. And that's what it seems like, man. And it's like you knew with the Rockets trading for KD, they were going to give up some important pieces. Obviously, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green had young upside or whatever. And, like, you kind of gave up some shooting around that. And you're not really surrounding KD with a lot of shooters. Amen Thompson is a great athlete. He's also showed very good play of being, like, some type of, like, combo guard or whatever the case may be, even though he really can't fucking shoot. He dropped 40 points with no threes one time this season, which is crazy. He's definitely good on the rebounding tip. He's a great perimeter defender. Like I said, a great athlete all around. He just can't shoot the rock. And then when you're also giving minutes to Reece Sheppard, who's probably their best three-point shooter, honestly, besides, Jabari and maybe KD, you need shooting in the playoffs. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You need shooting in the playoffs because they're going any other team is just going to stop a couple slashers, bro. And then if you have like one or two shooters, okay, cool. You got to watch out for them. At the same time, that ain't really nothing to be worried about because it's only two of them. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, with the Lakers, Bron's going in this series by himself. Luke is out for the year. Austin Reeves suffered a bad injury. He might be out for that whole playoff series. And you're looking at LeBron James and friends versus the Houston Rockets. And I'm going to be honest, man, Houston should sweep them. It's just going to be Bron. Their second best player is Jake LaRavia and DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart. Now, if you're the Houston Rockets and you let them get more than 2 games, even more than 1 game, what are you doing as a franchise? You know what I'm saying? Rockets defensively are pretty good. Nobody should be able to hold Sengun in the paint as well. Nobody on that team can really guard KD. Nobody even on that team can really even guard, like, Jabari, bro. Like, what you going to put Brown on Jabari or you going to put Brown on KD? Like, I don't like that matchup. I don't like either of those matchups, to be honest with you. But, yeah, man, Rockets in, like, 5, bro. Like, without Luka, without Reeves, like this Lakers team isn't really going to do shit, honestly. And I'd be really, really surprised if they get over 1 game. I'm not gonna lie, you kind of gotta question KD and his legacy if they somehow lose the series because you can't really count Bron out. But come on now, I don't really see that happening at all, man. I think Rockets win this series comfortably and then go on to play the Thunder in the second round, which is going to be, I think, a pretty good series. But like I said, like, if this was any other team, I would have the Rockets losing, honestly. Like, the Rockets aren't really a good team. Like I said, I think they're the fakest team in this whole conference. I'm not going to lie, in this playoff conference. It's too many holes in their offense. It's too many holes in the defense, too, as well. Of course, you got wing defenders, and you got guys that can defend when they want to, but what's all the defending going to do when you can barely score the rock in the half-court setting? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're good transitionally, full court, whatever, but in the half-court setting, their offense is pretty ugly. So, yeah, I mean, the Rockets are going to win this series in, like, 5 or 4, but, like, I don't really see them winning past that either. So, there's that. Next series, we have the Nuggets versus Timberwolves. I honestly think this is going to be the best series in this conference due to the fact that the Nuggets and Timberwolves already have history. The Nuggets and Timberwolves already have history. You go back to 2024 or 2025, I think it was 2024, where they went 7 games. Anthony Edwards hit a crazy 3 during a comeback versus the Nuggets. And, that was at Denver. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure Jokic didn't forget that. He's going to want to get his lit back. This is, and then honestly, like, this is a worse Timberwolves team as well. Ant is also coming into the series hurt. This is actually the same injury that kept Steph out for a minute a couple of years back. And he's going to play through it. I don't really know if that's a good idea, but, you're going to want to play through that injury, especially considering when you're in the playoffs. With that being said, Nuggets in 5. I think Ant can force a game by himself, but like I said, this is just a way worse team than what they had 2-3 years ago when they played the Nuggets the first time, man. They had Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They had Cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Mike Conley was still somewhat okay, even though he had his old age or whatever. But, like, Nuggets are also, like, on a crazy run right now, and I just don't see them stopping shit, honestly. I'm not going to lie. Like, I really don't see Rudy really going up against Jokic again because we all know how that worked out for him last time. Jokic still got his stats out, and of course the Timberwolves still won, but it's still Jokic at the end of the day. Nobody's going to guard Jamal Murray unless you want to put Jaden or Ant on him, but I really don't see that stopping shit for real. And like I said, Ant is still injured. You know what I'm saying? And then the Timberwolves also have Julius Randle, which isn't going to make shit better for them. Julius Randle had a couple good games last year in the playoffs, but I don't really see him really rising this year, honestly. And if we want to be honest, bro, like the Timberwolves are just outmatched, bro. Like I said, they don't even have the same team that they did 2 years ago. So I really don't see there being like a big upset, even though it is kind of my favorite series going in just because of the history and like seeing the competitiveness that Ant brings and Jokic and But the Nuggets are very well experienced, and I just think that's going to overwhelm the Timberwolves. To be honest with you. The Timberwolves conference final streak comes to an end, man. They made it 2 years in a row, which is very good in the Ant era, but I just don't see them getting any farther than the first round, especially against the Nuggets. So I got Nuggets in 5. And last series we're going to talk about today is the Spurs versus Trailblazers. Now, this is an interesting matchup solely because of where these two teams were like kind of like a year ago. Like it's kind of crazy to see now. Even the Trailblazers, bro. I mean, shit. Dame came back. You knew he was going to miss a year, but you didn't really think that the Trailblazers were really going to do shit. And honestly, Denny Avdia has been very good. I know some people really don't like his game, but when you're a guy who drives to the paint a lot, you're going to get fouled, especially if you know how to finesse your way around the rim too. You're going to get fouled, bro. So a lot of people complain about that, but the Trailblazers also just do have a nice overall team. Not nice enough to beat the Spurs, but they do have a good team. Tamari Camaro, whatever his name is, he's very good wing, 3-and-D wing. Shaden Sharp, scorer. Donovan Clean, amazing center, rim protector, rebounds like hell. Robert Williams off the bench. They just got a lot of complimentary pieces, but the Spurs have been on a tear all season. They beat the OKC Thunder 3 times this season, and they also beat the Trailblazers, I want to say 2-1 with the series, and all those games they didn't even have Wemby. So that just says enough about the Spurs. And I also got to clap it up for the Spurs, man. I mean, it's kind of crazy how they kind of, made the Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, and Stephon Castle all work as far as like a 3-guard rotation. They also have good veterans like Harrison Barnes. And then, of course, you got Wemby at the helm. This Spurs team, I'm not going to lie, I would not be surprised if they make the finals. I honestly do think it's going to be a Thunder versus Spurs conference finals, and that's just going to be a toss-up. I'm going to keep it a beam, but I think I got the Spurs making the finals. They've had OKC's number throughout the whole regular season, and I know that doesn't really mean much going into the playoffs, but Spurs just have too many complementary pieces going up versus the Thunder. They also got Keldon Johnson, a great utility guy. They got Devin Vassell, a great scorer off the bench. Not great, but he's a good scorer off the bench. Matchup wise, they match up with the Thunder really well. Of course, Thunder also have some scoring off the bench with AJ Mitchell and Jared McCain, and of course Isaiah Joe. But it's like it's going to be a really entertaining series, and it can really go either way. I just really got the Spurs win, to be honest. But back to the first round, Spurs in like 4, maybe 5. I keep saying it's crazy because I think none of these games in this conference are going to make it past 5 games, and if I had to choose, it would probably be Spurs and Trailblazers just because both teams haven't been in the playoffs in a minute. So it's like both of them, I wouldn't say are kind of inexperienced, but like both of them do kind of like that playoff experience as of right now. So I honestly think either that, maybe Suns and Thunder go to like 6 games. Devin Booker can definitely force a game. Maybe you'll get your Dylan Brooks magnet ball, 30 points or whatever, some crazy shit. Jalen Green magnet ball, he might get like 30-something points. That might be the only game I can see in this conference going, or that might be the only series I can really see in this conference going to maybe 6 games. Aside from Spurs and Trailblazers, that's the one I kind of really think that would probably go 6 games. But overall, man, so second round, I got Thunder versus Rockets, and then I got Spurs versus Nuggets. Now, that's going to be a good series. The last time Nuggets and Spurs played, it was a really fucking good game. I was mad I was at work because I was trying to watch the game at work. Winning the overtime and everything. Very good game. That's probably going to be the best series of the whole playoffs, if I'm going to be real with you, bro. Spurs and Nuggets, that's going to be a great fucking series. But, yeah, man, that's my Western Conference predictions, bro. Honestly, man, like it's not really much to say, man. I think it's going to get really interesting in the second rounds for sure. Even in the Eastern Conference finals, I mean, in the Eastern Conference, even in the Eastern Conference, I think it's going to be more entertaining in the second round. They kind of do have. Knicks and Hawks is going to be good. Cavs and Raptors depends on what you like. Celtics and Sixers. I mean, like it's going to be competitive just because it's a rivalry, just off the strength that it's going to be a rivalry. But I don't really think it's going to like be like a household series for the first round. So, but yeah, man. Honestly, I can't wait for playoffs, man. Playoffs is actually today. I made this at 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. actually. So, playoffs is today, and let's get right into it, man. I'm going to be making. I want to say every 2 games I'm going to make a video. So when every playoff series is played for 2 games, I'm going to make a video, and we're just going to keep a good schedule like that and hope for the best, man. I'm definitely going to be more consistent now. I've said this before, didn't really make a promise on it, but I'm also going to do a video on the losers that didn't make the that didn't make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like Wizards, Pacers, Bulls, Bucks, Heat. Charlotte just lost today, which is crazy. Warriors, Mavs, Pelicans. Oh my God, we gotta talk about the Pelicans. But yeah, man, definitely more videos to come. If you like this video today, please like, share, and subscribe. And I am out of here. Peace.